Well, hi, Lily. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, my name is Colin. I'm a 2023 alumni and a content creator for the All American High School Film Festival, and I'm super happy that you'll be joining us today for this interview.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Awesome. Yeah. So to get things started, I guess first, could you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell us a bit about where you're from, what high school you went to or are going to, and what got you into filmmaking.
Yeah, so my name is Lilly O'Brien. I'm a high school junior. I go to LOXA, which is the Los Angeles County High School for the Arts. And I got into filmmaking kind of during COVID. I would make a lot of iMovie trailers. That was my favorite thing to do. And the movies that kind of got me into filmmaking and interested were probably the Harry Potter films because I loved how you were just so immersed in the world, and I was just so blown away when I watched those and rewatched them over and over again. And then questions kind of started coming up like, how did they make this? How did they do this? And I loved watching behind the scenes videos and interviews with the cast, and that really got me interested. And then I went to this filmmaking camp and I loved it. And then I auditioned for the film program at Loxa, where I go now, and have been making lots of films ever since. And I just love it so much.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations. I've heard great things about Loxa. I'm also from California as well, and
Oh,
yeah, it's so many good programs down there. But yeah,
mhm.
okay. So now I'm super excited to hear all about your film. So
Yeah.
I want to do a little exercise with you where I'm going to
Mhm.
give you 60 seconds to give an elevator pitch for your movie. So that just means like a log line, genre, and just a
Yeah.
little bit of brief information about it. And then we can
Okay.
dive into it more. So whenever
Awesome.
you're ready.
Okay, so my film is about a person with dissociative identity disorder, and um, I wanted to explore kind of themes about being a good person and guilt and confrontation, and I wanted to kind of draw in as many different types of audiences as possible. So I have three characters that represent different stages of life. There's kind of a working woman who's kind of having economic struggles with her family, a more teenaged girl who's dealing with high school cliques and all that drama and insecurities, and then kind of an older character who's more experienced with work and more has more pride trying to protect his job to kind of meet different audiences and have relatable experiences and kind of a lot of complex nuanced themes, and also leaving it kind of up for interpretation for different viewers to kind of give them enough information to relate it to themselves.
Yeah, wow, that sounds really cool. So tell me a little bit more about where that inspiration came from. Like what drew you into creating a film like this?
Yeah, so I feel like I'm kind of drawn to psychological sort of themes and topics, and I love doing lots of research and talking to different people and watching kind of interviews of real people to kind of get that true raw human experience. And I originally had the idea more just kind of visually with like the dark black void kind of room and confrontation and just dealing with the kind of guilt and those sort of themes. And actually the night I came up with the finalized ending like 2 or 3 a.m. writing the day I was shooting, and I feel like I had a lot of revisions, and because there was a festival that I had like a month to make it for my school, and I feel like this idea kind of transformed a lot from the original concept and kind of just drawing inspiration. Kind of originally I was thinking sort of the seven deadly sins, and I kind of drew on like pride and greed and envy and just a lot of different themes, and having, again, like I said, different characters at different ages, and to kind of make a complex sort of story with lots of character development and variation. And yeah.
Yeah, very cool. And I'm curious like more about the actual production side of things. So
Yeah.
this was a film that you did in a month,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's super impressive. So do you have any like fun behind the scenes stories of like going from like pre-production all the way through shooting into post? Like did anything interesting happen during that?
So basically, I shot all of the kind of house scenes or outside the non dark room scenes at my house in one day, and then across 2 or 3 days after school, I shot the dark room scenes like one day kind of per each actor. So it was very tight schedule, but also very fun. One memory that I have kind of on all of my sets is whenever we record room tone, I am always laughing and trying not to laugh, and that's always just something fun. I feel like that happens on a lot of my sets. And another thing, it didn't happen on this film, but just another kind of filmmaking memory I've started now is having a tear stick on set, and then when we wrap, I we all we all do the tear stick and like crying, and it's fun. Like everyone's mascara is running, and that's kind of I use that for a shot in one of my other films, and just kind of fun traditions. And yeah, I just love working with all my crew, and it's so cool to know people who are so passionate in only high school, and yeah, just bonding over that. But this set was definitely very heavy on schedule and sticking to that and not having a lot of wiggle room. And then also having to edit, quick turnaround. But it was very fun.
Yeah, that's and I love how much you care about like clearly the set environment and like having a
Yeah.
positive place for your cast and crew. So that's really cool. I like having traditions like that is like super important, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah. So you've been around the block a little bit and made a couple of films before. I'm curious, do you have any advice for maybe any incoming filmmakers who might be submitting or creating their film for the first time?
Yeah, I would say just make something you're passionate about, and it doesn't matter if you can't get the fanciest camera or the best equipment because you don't need a budget to tell a great story. And I just think if you make something you're passionate about and you work really hard, people will see that and enjoy it and have fun watching it. And as long as you are willing to put in a lot of work, just make something you're not going to get bored of or tired of or sick of, and just have fun and learn from your mistakes too. I feel like that's a big thing, especially just with experimenting and especially at such a young age. I feel like that is great just to move on to the future. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. Awesome. Okay, well, I have one final question for you. So
Mhm.
for the viewers, I'm curious who might be attending the festival in this October. Why should you tell them to go see your film at the festival?
Um, I think people should see my film because I think I tried to make it in a way that everyone can relate to and you can really see yourself in the characters, because I feel like a lot of films that I grew up watching I enjoyed, but I didn't feel like I related to the characters, and I felt like I was just watching the movie, I wasn't in it. And I feel like I added a lot of nuanced details in hopes that people would have lots of questions at the end. And I think the best endings are beginnings, because I think the best films and the most impactful, powerful, inspirational films for me have, after I watch them, I just can't get the ending or the story out of my head, and it really sticks with me. And I can watch it over and over again, notice something new every time. I think those are the best kind of films, and I hope in some small way that my film works like that for at least even just one person. And yeah, I think a lot of filmmaking is just even if you reach one person, if it changes their perspective or um, changes their expectations of something, then you've made them feel something, and that's what filmmaking is all about for me.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much, Lily, for hopping on this call with me
Yeah, of
today. And
course.
for those watching, you can go see Intertwine on Saturday. It's screen number 21 in Theater 22 at the AMC Empires Theater in Times Square, New York City. So thank you so much, Lily.
Thank you. This was so fun. Thank you for having me.